surveyed clergy people, and what they wanted was one row in the back, and it would move up, and then the people fill in on the back. Well, good morning. Our solution to bringing New York City back from the national recession boils down to one phrase, and that is creating jobs. And I think it's fair to say it is a strategy that's working. Last year, we created new private sector jobs at a rate that was roughly 60% faster than the nation as a whole. And I don't think there's any question about it. There are New Yorkers still looking for work, so there's still a lot more that needs to be done. But I think we're going on the right track, and we've got to make sure we do more of it. And our host today, the Varick Street Incubator, I think shows why. Now, some of you may remember that we launched this incubator back in February of '09 at an address just down the street. In the dead of winter and in the worst national recession in more than 70 years, that was still going on, but we were confident that helping enterprising New Yorkers launch innovative new businesses was just what our economy needed. So using a minimal investment of $100,000 in city funds through our Economic Development Corporation, we came together with our partners, the Polytechnic Institute of New York University, whose president, Jerry Halton, is right here, and Trinity Real Estate, represented here today by its president, Jason Pizer, who is right behind me, to offer low-cost incubator office space for startups that would create networking opportunities for them and also provide training and administrative services courtesy of NYU Poly. Today, I'm happy to say the results are in, and they are excellent. A total of 22 new companies that have incubated here have either already left their nest here on Varick Street or will be leaving between now and July. They're all going to be establishing themselves as going concerns all throughout the 5 boroughs. Collectively, companies at the incubator have already raised some $38 million in venture capital and startup funding, and they already support more than 400 jobs. And that's quite a return for the city. More than 400 jobs generated from our initial investment of $100,000. And many of these new companies will continue to grow and contribute to our economy and to our tax base. Now, we're going to hear from some of the founders of these companies in a few minutes. But before we do, let me point out that what started on Varick Street 3 years ago is now spread throughout the city. Over the past 3 years, we've launched a total of 10 small business incubators at locations in 4 boroughs, and they're focused on a variety of industries, including ones we expect to keep growing significantly in the years ahead: fashion, food, the arts, freelance media, and also technology and design. And today there are approximately 550 businesses located in these incubators. Now, with an initial total investment from the city of some $1.8 million, they have altogether raised more than $78 million in private investor funding, and they now have more than 900 employees. In fact, the demand for more space is why the incubator we're at today moved from its original home to larger quarters here. And businesses continue to graduate from this incubator. Businesses continue to graduate from this incubator, more new exciting new startups will move in here to replace them. And the incubator will be here for them because after the original 3-year lease expired, NYU Poly and Trinity Real Estate signed a new 3-year lease for the Varick Street incubator space. And that's going to allow more startups to start their own business success stories right here. Our successful business incubators are just one way that we're encouraging startups in the city. We've also created the $22 million New York City Entrepreneurial Fund focused on the tech industry. It's the first city-sponsored seed and early-stage investment fund located outside of Silicon Valley. And the Department of Small Business Services also does a lot to assist new businesses in our city in getting off the ground. And our new business acceleration team has helped cut through red tape involved in opening more than 600 new restaurants throughout the city, another kind of new business that creates jobs and expands our tax base and provides better services to the people that live here. Those efforts and others have one goal in common, and that's to create more new jobs for New Yorkers. So on that note, let me turn the floor over to the president of the Polytechnic Institute of New York University, Jerry Halton. Jerry?
Thank you, Mayor. It is great to be a partner with you in this enterprise and a new incubator we opened in Dumbo just a month and a half ago. It focused on media and technology. So I have a friend in Washington who says talent is the oil of the 21st century. Talent is the oil of the 21st century, and we're in the talent business. This is what the mayor and I together and all of us have done, is create a place where we take young people's energy and ambitions and turn it into real talent, give them the seasoning of an incubator, give them the chance to be an intern in a new company, create their own company. We've got angel funds here to help fund them. We've got advisors like Michael Koch to tell them how to thread the needle towards a marketplace. If you think about it, with about 40 companies in this space and having graduated 22 that succeeded, this is quite a track record, well above the standard numbers that you would expect to see in a new enterprise like this. There's a lot of people that made this happen. The mayor thanks some of them, but I want to especially say a thank you to Seth Pinsky and the EDC team for what they did to put this together. You're going to hear from Seth in a second. I want to thank Trinity Real Estate for being our partner in this. I want to thank Rob Walsh and Small Business for being at our side on all of this, and all the team at EDC who helped make this happen. It's interesting. This is an exciting place. We have, in 2.5 years that we've been open, had more than 50 delegations from around the world come here to see this, to understand what we're doing, to see the companies and take these ideas back home. And you can think about it, maybe you're worried the secret sauce is going to leave New York City, but I can assure you I've been traveling the world looking at incubators around the world, and we have a secret sauce here, which is the Big Apple knows well. We know how to be entrepreneurial. We know how to be innovative. Young people come here because they know they'll get the support. They know they'll see the funding they need. And we've risen now to being number 2 in high-tech ventures, even over Boston, across the country. It shows how exciting New York City is. There's a few people here that I want to thank for what they've done to get us to this point. Jimmy Choi, my chief of staff, Micah Koch, who's the director here, Bruce Nicewater, who went before him, Steve Cohen, Owen Davis, who's created the angel fund we have here. And also, 10 years ago, Congressman Ed Towns put the first money down on the table for an incubator in Brooklyn. It's where this all started. So Ed deserves some credit, too, for making this happen. So with that, think of it. If talent is the oil of the 21st century, you need incubators like this to be the oil patch of America. This is where new jobs, new ideas, the future gets created. Walk these halls, talk to these young people about what they're doing. The mayor and I just did that, and you'll see these are exciting stories that are going to, over the next 20 years, change the shape of this economy. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Jerry, thank you. I should point out that Ellen Baer, the president and CEO of the Hudson Square Bid, is with us today. Thank you. Next, let me ask Seth Pinsky, the president of the city's Economic Development Corporation, to say a bit about the success of EDC's incubators. Seth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think today's event is really proof positive of the fact that New York City's startup community is one of the most dynamic anywhere in the country, indeed anywhere in the world. And if you look at the 22 graduates that have either recently emerged from or about to emerge from the incubator, what you'll see is that they're joining a growing roster of innovative companies that are expanding here across the city. Today, for example, we have nearly 120,000 people employed in the tech sector in New York City, and that's an increase of nearly 30% in just the last 5 years. And as President Holton said, since 2009, New York has actually surpassed Boston to become the #2 recipient of high-tech venture capital funding in the country. And all of the work that we're doing and that's happening in the economy is laying the groundwork, we think, for us to continue to build on this momentum. And if you look at the strategy that the Bloomberg administration has adopted, it ranges from training programs through which literally thousands of New Yorkers have gone, learning how to start businesses, learning how to navigate difficult economic times. There's the new engineering school that is going to be built by a combination of Cornell and the Technion on Roosevelt Island that's going to nearly double the number of full-time graduate engineering students here in New York. And of course, our network of incubators. And this network began here on Varick Street, and we couldn't be more excited about the success of this incubator and all of our incubators. Today, we have a network of 10 incubators across the city, from Dumbo, where we're also partnered with NYU, to Flatiron District, to Long Island City, to the South Bronx, and there are more on the way. In fact, today we house over 550 businesses, as the mayor said, and these altogether support nearly 900 jobs. And we have the capacity for over 1,000 businesses over the next 3 years, and we hope to expand that capacity significantly as we begin to further expand our network of incubators. But of course, none of this success would be possible without the hard work of everyone that you see in this room and all of the great entrepreneurs that we're surrounded by here at this incubator and elsewhere. So I just wanted to offer my congratulations to the individuals that are graduating, and also to thank everyone for their support, and specifically to thank Jason Pizer and his predecessor at Trinity, Carl Weisbrod, as well as President Holton and his entire team at NYU Poly, Ellen Baer and the Hudson Square Bid, and the great team at EDC that's been working on this, Faiza Issa, Teddy Tsang, Ann Lee, and Dmitry Pohilko. And really great, this is a great day, I think, for New York City, and a great indicator of the future of our city, and we couldn't be happier to be a part of it. Thank you.
Seth, thank you. Great work. And next, Small Business Service Commissioner Rob Walsh. I've asked him to help describe how teams set up like those here at this incubator really succeed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Jerry, thank you very much, not only for what you're doing here, but also in downtown Brooklyn. I don't know if people realize this, but Jerry not only merged NYU and Poly successfully, but he's also really pulled together the business community in downtown Brooklyn. And you look around in downtown Brooklyn, a lot of that good work has been his leadership. So thank you very much. The reason incubators are working under Seth Pinsky's leadership is the support services that are now provided, not only here, but also at our food incubator and our fashion incubator. You think about it, for the graduating entrepreneurs who are coming out of this program, we have something called the NYU and the New York City Business Solution Centers, where people could get access to capital, incentives, business plans, and so much more. You know, last year alone, we were able to help over 800 small businesses with $39 million in loans. You think about that, 4 years ago, we weren't even in the business. So those entrepreneurs who are working right across the way here, when they need help and they need assistance and they need that safety net, they could come to Small Business Services or the Economic Development Corporation for that help. And as Seth mentioned, you know, we're seeing this in Long Island City, we see it in the South Bronx. They're working because they're with them day in and day out. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for setting up the agency that makes that work. Appreciate it.
And next, we thought it'd be interesting to hear from the founders of two successful stories at this incubator, starting with Inaki Beringer, the founder of Pixable.
Thank you. Well, I'm the founder of Pixable, which is your mobile photo inbox. So right now we have about 2 million users on mobile, and we are one of the top-ranked applications in the App Store from Apple. And other than Facebook, we don't know any other application with this level of engagement, so we are doing pretty well right now. We have raised $6 million in venture capital from top-tier VCs, and we have created overall about 50 jobs in the city, mainly engineers. So we have brought engineers from all over the world. We brought people from South Africa, from Venezuela, from Spain, from Argentina. I'm originally from Spain. We have also brought engineers from universities from all over the US, like people from Princeton, from Penn, from MIT, from Cornell, and also like recruiting engineers from the city, from Columbia University, Poly, or NYU. And, well, a little bit about our background. I went to MIT. I graduated in 2009 with my co-founder, Andres Blanc, who is here. And we decided to move the company from Boston, MIT, to New York. And being part of the incubator helped us a lot, especially during that first year, which is usually the toughest year in any startup. So it helped us in many ways. One is like tapping into the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in the city very, very quickly. And that helped professionally and personally. So personally, it's like helping, getting all this moral support from all these other entrepreneurs in the incubator, and sharing all these war stories and all the problems that you have. And professionally, it's like tapping into the network, right? Like, it's very valuable to ask your colleagues in the office, like, who do you use for health insurance, for payroll, for accounting, for any kind of service that you need. It also helped to work harder and to stay more focused, right? Like, it's very different, like working from an apartment versus working from an incubator. Like in an incubator, you have like colleagues next to you that are making progress, working very hard, and you feel that peer pressure. It's like competition with other companies making progress, and you want to be part of those ones, so you work much harder. And obviously, like, having an affordable place helped us a lot. Like, if it wasn't because of the incubator, probably we would be now either in New Jersey or Boston or somewhere else, but probably not in Manhattan. So this helped us a lot. Also, like building credibility with investors or people that you want to recruit. So I want to thank everyone that made this happen, like the city and all the like parties involved, and especially the staff working in the incubator, like Micah or Steve, who were super, super helpful with the whole process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And our final speaker, Neil Modi, a founder of another startup that incubates here, Enrelate.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, welcome. First, I just want you to experience the magic of this place. Take a look at the walls, see the entrepreneurs. It's really been a great experience for my company, Enrelate. We started on a small idea, help people try to find more information that they're looking for on the web. You might think, you know, Google does that already, but we do that now 12 times every second. So 12 people are clicking on our second on over 28,000 websites every second of the day. And I think what's magical is the web keeps on growing and allowing these kind of things to happen, right? And so we came with a small idea, and now we've grown into an 11-person company. And I think there's been a lot of talk about infrastructure in America, right? And this is an example of a different type of infrastructure, allowing companies to go from an idea to actually impacting the entire world, right? So we're now installed in over 15 languages. We service 60 million people around the web. And I want to thank, you know, Jerry Holton, Mayor Bloomberg, the EDC Seth Pinsky, for allowing companies like me, you know, an NYU, I'm a city guy, you know, NYU, Columbia entrepreneur, to really give us the infrastructure to allow us to service the entire world. So thank you very much.
Neil, thank you. Before taking questions, let me just try to summarize today's announcement for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers. En ayuda a nuevos negocios a lanzarse en industrias crecientes, estamos creando nuevos empleos para los noriqueños. Una razón importante por la cual la economía está más fuerte en nuestra ciudad que en muchas otras partes de la nación. And with that, we'll be happy to take some questions, sir.
Mr. Mayor, are you surprised at the success rate that's happening here? Does it?
No, I just New York.